Welcome back to our studio build. If you haven't been following along, we've been building our dream screen printing and art studio in our basement. Today, we're gonna do a random list of chores and things that we have not caught up on. And then next week, we're gonna start on the plywood. So, first order of business today is to finish off our screen printing rack, and that is going to involve painting it. Since we use scrap wood from our torn down wall, it's a little hodgepodgey, a little mixed-matched plywood and all that. So we're just gonna paint it all black, make it a little cleaner, make it a little nicer. So let's get started. Now we do have a paint sprayer. Haven't opened it yet, it was a Christmas gift. We're gonna open it up and try it out today. It says it's for stain. I don't know how true that is. We're gonna put paint in it and see if it's okay. All right, let's see how to work this thing here. That is a very short cable, but it's relatively heavy duty, all things considering. Where's the nozzle go? Wait, how does this work? Like this? Aha, I see. Aha, okay. That's semi-intuitive. I should probably read the directions, but I'm not going to bore you with that, so see you in a second. This paint we bought does not need to be thinned, which is nice because I didn't want to deal with that. Now the real key now is a nice pour out of this. Okay, we're just going to fill it up halfway, see where we get. That was a decent pour, actually. All right, we're just going to go for it. See, turn it on. Okay, that's not bad. I like a paint sprayer. Cool. We used every single ounce of that quart of paint. We're mostly done for the most part. It's going to be a little splotchy. Probably needed a second coat. Am I going to bother? No, I don't want to buy more paint. But this will be good enough. It already looks way better than it did. I'm going to go clean this before it permanently ruins the sprayer. And while this dries, we're going to do some other stuff. It's all dry and back inside, and this already looks way cleaner. So now we're gonna coat the inside of this for our exposure unit with reflective tape. This is just gonna help kind of add a bit more light, soften it, even it out. So we're just gonna coat this whole entire interior right here with this reflective tape. And hope we have enough. And also hope it sticks. Actually think instead of the bottom, since that's going to be covered up, I'm going to focus on the sides here. That way it kind of bounces and reflects up, you know? It is definitely fitting our mantra of scrappy, not crappy. Does it look the prettiest? No. Will it work? Well, I don't know yet. We're gonna see soon enough. Unfortunately, we ran out of tape. So we're just gonna try this out and see what it does. It might not even help out anything in the first place. So let's get this threaded in. We're gonna try and cable manage this now too once it's all painted and all that. Slot it in, that's so satisfying. It reflects enough, I think. Throw our glass on. That doesn't really fit great. We might have to find a solution for that. In theory, you know, you place your design. That might be backwards, actually. Place your design like that. It's all press and flush. And you expose. I do think that the tape actually did kind of spread out the light a little bit, so that works. We're going to see when we test this with real emulsion and real stencils, things like that. But we'll call that good for now. And then we're going to route this cable a little bit better. Probably cable manage this a little bit. Maybe like that. We're going to need an extension cord either way. So let's just do this. Sometimes it's easier to just put the cable clips on first and then stick them where you want. I'm going to leave this dangling here for a little bit because I actually want like a switch probably right here in the corner. I don't know exactly where, so we might need to route this up anyways. I got to figure out exactly what to get that will do kind of like a switch. It should be pretty straightforward and cheap, but we'll call that good for now. I'm going to attempt to cut our logo out of plywood. We're going to jigsaw it out. It's got a printed template here. I'm not looking for this to be like 100% exact. It can be a little imperfect, and it probably will be, but we're going to do our best. This is going to go up on our plywood wall on the back. It's going to be backlit. It's going to look sweet, hopefully. This is a vintage saw, so I'm not overly confident it's going to work, but you know what? We're just going to try it. I mean, it's working. It's just a little slow. And I'm actually going to adjust how this is clamped a little bit just so we don't hit my 2x4. Yeah, I knew that would happen. But hey, it's cut. Okay, we're back. Now it should be so we can cut through this and not hit this 2x4. It's actually, I'm kind of shocked how well it's going. I feel like it got a little bit of a groove down a little bit. So that's kind of nice. That actually turned out pretty good. And we have a U. And then together, it goes New Union, roughly. So then we'll mount this on the wall. We're actually going to paint it a brain color first so it sticks out from the plywood. So let's do that real fast. Actually, I think we need to clean this up a little bit. I'm actually going to give these a quick little sand. I think I want to smooth out some of, you can kind of see like these edges, some of our cut marks. I think I'm going to bevel these edges just a little bit too, just to give it a little bit of an interesting look. Other than that, we'll just give it a quick, surface coat sand and call it good. But you can kind of see, just got a little bit of a rounded edge to it. Just a little bit of a bevel. Nothing too crazy, but I think it looks kind of sweet. This piece is done. Just kidding. I'm like beyond excited how this turned out. This is gonna look so sweet. A minor paint touch-up that needs to happen, but I mean, I'm like you can see it's got a little bit of a bevel to it. Again, some paint touch-ups, but I mean, just imagine this up on a wall. It's gonna look sweet. So you remember how we said we're probably gonna have to nail these into the floor? We decided against that just because it's not load bearing and it's kind of complicated to get something attached to concrete floors. We're just gonna put some all-purpose adhesive down and that's gonna stop it from shifting around, stuff like that. That's really all we need to do with this. We're gonna need to clean this up a little bit. This is not gonna be enough. How is this taking up paint? There's red paint coming up. This red paint they used must have just sucked. Yeah. We needed to drill out more cutouts for this conduit for our power. So we had to take our walls down. But since they're down, we're going to take the opportunity to also caulk adhesive. But while they're down, we're going to take the opportunity to caulk the bottoms so there's some more stability. We're just going to put it under the sill plate and then another layer above the sill plate. But now things won't move around when they're trying to assemble them, so that's kind of nice. Then we'll just throw another layer on top, and then once that all squeezes together, there'll be some adhesive. So after some deliberation, before we do anything else to the walls, we did decide to do some vapor barrier. Kind of like we did to the bottom plate, we're going to do it to the outside upper walls yet. We bought 6mm plastic sheathing, and we're going to throw that up behind the walls. We should be able to slot it in. That's the goal. So we're just gonna grind that out real fast. The vapor barrier is finished. It was a little annoying to install, not gonna lie. Probably would have been easier if I was able to do it before I put the walls up, but nevertheless it's done. It's a little patchy. It's a little, but you know what? It's gonna work. It's gonna be great. And I don't have to do it again. So the next step is we're going to bullet nail with a Ramset tool. These, I feel like I shouldn't point that at me. We're gonna nail our studs into the floor. Make sure they don't move, they don't go anywhere. Make sure they're super secure. I've never used one of these. They're a little scary, not gonna lie, but we're gonna try it. I've got my earplugs in. It works. How these work is it essentially has a straight up 22 cartridge. It's essentially a bullet, like legitimately, like that's literally a bullet, pretty much. You put that in here, put the charge, so you see the nail in this, load it in, compress, and then should just go like that. That did not get the nail. The nail did not go through. Maybe you really just gotta. Got it. Missed the washer though. Oh yeah, I smell gunpowder. Whoa. Sparks flew. There we go. Okay, that looks way better. Oh, this wall is not going anywhere, which actually is not a good thing because it's not straight. Gosh dang it. I gotta try and remove this. Okay, that actually came out pretty good. Okay, but you can see how much this wall's moving. I forgot to push it in, so it's flush against this cinder block wall. So we got to figure out a way to keep this pushed against the wall. I don't know if I'm going to try and shit this wall. Maybe a little bit, but then it's not level. And I did a lot of work to try and get this wall to be level. I mean, it's not level. I don't know if you can see that, but it's not like level. But I feel like I want it flush against the wall. Decisions. Okay, we're gonna try and we're gonna push it flush to the wall. Don't do what I do, okay? Don't do this at home. I would not suggest this, but this is the only way I know how to do this. It's a little scary, but got it. That's why you wear shoes, gloves, hearing protection. Honestly, AirPods are working great right now. All right, now that the wall is kind of guided in place, these ones should be easy. We should just be able to churn these out. Frickin' hell. There you go. Oh, dude, this wall, it's not budging. Gonna kind of get the edges and then work my way back towards the middle for no apparent reason. But that's just what we're gonna do. That worked. first try. I think we're just gonna do a screw for each one of these gaps. I think it's gonna be overkill if we do more than that. I mean, this wall's not budging. Honestly, one per gap is gonna be overkill, so we're just gonna roll with that. Found it works best if you do a couple soft taps. Just kind of get the nail kind of set and then whack it. All right, then onto this wall. We're gonna work this way, trying to make sure the wall is, you know, flush against the cinder block. I'm confident, you know, it should go pretty good. Honestly, this wall isn't budging out anyway, so I don't think we're gonna have to worry about this like the other one. Walls are set in the concrete. These things, they're not moving anywhere. We got to figure this issue out since we can't screw into the joists. That's another issue. That might be solved once we put plywood on there. We'll see. But for now, our walls are secured, and I think they're done and ready for plywood. And then we added a vapor barrier here because we're actually going to extend this out a little bit, and we're going to put pegboard right here. So we're going to attach these kind of base plates right here and then throw our pegboard on top of it I think at a later date, because I don't want to cut it right now. I'm just going to be honest. But I think we got it. The real key will be to not split the wood. Oh, nailed it. Or screwed it, I guess. I can't say that. Then our second board is going to go here. There's a little bit of gap right here in the wall, which is like, I can't line it up like I need to, you know? So we're just gonna make it work. Well, it's not pretty, but it's attached and it's secure. All right, I think that's good for this week. I'm pretty happy with the progress we made. It was random, but productive, and I'm good with that. Next step is plywood, and that makes me a little nervous, but that's kind of the final step. So feels like we're in the home stretch a little bit, but either way, I'm ready to have the studio done and ready to start doing stuff in it instead of building all the time, you know?